Dave, after Game 3 of the DS, you guys are down 2-1 with your season on the line. It could get really dark for a lot of teams there, and I remember you saying that you believed in those guys in that room. It might have looked different on the outside, but what do you think they proved to each other over the next 10 days?
I think they proved to themselves how tough they are. I think that when you get in a position that we were in against a division rival, against a very talented team at that point, it turns into a street fight. And it's, lose and go home, or you just fight like heck. And I think that that's what got us over the top in the DS, and also what bled into the fact, allowed us to finish these guys off in six games.
We'll go to Jeff in the middle here, fourth row.
Dave, just what do you think of the trajectory Tommy Edman has been on from not even playing a game till August to being the NLCS MVP here?
It's a crazy trajectory. I can't say enough about the front office being able to acquire him at the deadline. What he can do for us on the field, in the clubhouse, it's just amazing. And I never imagined, once we acquired him, he'd be hitting fourth in a postseason game. But I trust him. The guys trust him. He's made huge defensive plays for us and had huge hits. So I just very, very fortunate to have a player like Tommy.
Go to the third row on the right.
Hey, Dave. I know you're being second guessed on all your decisions all the time, and I'm just wondering how you kind of block out the noise, especially on a daily today, where you got to make a bullpen game, and every pitching change carries the weight of the world, at least as far as the fans are concerned.
Number one, I don't do social media, so that's the start for me. Number two, I just think that I've got to make decisions, bet on players that I feel, are capable, or put them in the best position to have success, and be willing to live with whatever consequence. And so tonight, this series, this postseason, I've had a lot of clarity, and the players have made me look really good.
Couple more for Doug.
Hey, Dave, with the season Chris Taylor's had, what can you say about him coming in a game like this and delivering?
You know what? I can't say enough about Chris. He's obviously had a tough season as far as the health, the consistency with the bat. But I think it's just one of those things that when you're talking about the postseason, sometimes it just comes down to just betting on a person. And the moment's never going to be too big for him. He's going to be prepared. And he showed out and had some big hits, some big plays, a big sack bunt today, and he's won a lot of big games for us.
And then what's the message moving forward? Is it just 4 more wins?
That's it. Obviously, we're going to celebrate tonight as we should. I think the whole world was looking forward or hoping for this potential matchup, this showdown. It's going to be great. They're a very talented team. But I think for us, it's kind of, one game at a time, but appreciating the fact that we still got, 4 wins to take care of business.
Go to the second row on the left.
Can you just talk about Max Muncy's performance just throughout the CS?
Max has been, he's a postseason player. I think that there's a lot said about what Kike does in the postseason, but Max is a guy that throughout his postseasons with us, he finds a different gear as well. He's an on-base machine. He controls the strike zone, and for him to, pivot from third base to first base, which he hadn't played in a few years, also speaks to his ability and his talent. And it's not easy to make up for a loss of Freddie Freeman, but Max has been able to help us make that transition a little bit easier.
Take one more here in the third row.
So, Dave, you had a 7-4 ball game. Trinan comes in the 8th. I know they tacked on 3 more in the bottom half to sort of ease the burden a little bit. But had it stayed the same, did you have any backup plans if things went south?
That was my only plan right there. So, from the first inning, the first pitch, I had a lot of contingency plans. But at that point, we were going to ride or die with Blake.
All right, thanks, Doc.
And last thing, I just want to congratulate Carlos and the Mets. They've had a tremendous season, and they fought hard, and I just think Carlos does a great job with that club. So, yeah.
Shohei, you came to the States 6 years ago with the goal of playing the big leagues, but ultimately to play in the World Series. Now that you have that opportunity, what are the emotions that you're feeling to play in the World Series now?
ワールドシリーズプレーするっていうのが目的で6年前メジャーアメリカに来たと思うんですけども、やっとワールドシリーズプレーできるっていうことになりまして、どう思いますか？
本当やっと来たなというか、ここまでも苦しい試合も多かったですし、全員で本当に掴み取ったそういう素晴らしいゲームが多かったなと思います。
I really feel like we finally arrived. I finally arrived at this stage. A lot of the games we played were really tough and hard to win, and it was truly a team effort to get here.
Go to the third row on the right side.
この間、こちらです。プレーオフが楽しいという話をされたじゃないですか。例えば頑張った分だけ喜びが大きいという言い方があると思うんですけども、何がそこまで楽しくさせているんですか？
単純にここまでプレーできているというか、何回も言ってますけど、ここまでこの10月のこの時期までプレーできるというのは本当に一握りのチーム選手たちだと思うので、その時点でやっぱり恵まれているなというか本当に、感謝というか、プレーできていること自体が結果は必ずついてくると思いますけど、良かった悪かったは出てくると思うんですけど、やれてるということ自体が素晴らしいことだなと思ってます。
例えばじゃあ怖いというのは一切ない？
出た結果に対してはね、それはもちろん受け止めればいいですし、それはそれで自分の、今後の糧になると思うのでもちろんいい結果を望んでますし、そうなるように努力はしますけど、まずはプレーするということ自体が大事だなと思ってますね。
Go to Dylan, second row.
Obviously, you structured your contract the way you did so the team could be stronger. How glad are you that it resulted in this? Is this kind of what you pictured?
大谷さんの契約内容でこのようになるために契約内容をいろいろ変えたと思うんですけども、実際ワールドシリーズ出れてどう思いますかと？
そうですね、ここを目指してもちろんやってましたし、そうなるように望んでましたけど、楽に来れたわけでもないので、本当に、全員が一生懸命自分のやることをやってここまで来れたので、あと本当に最後のシリーズ、自分たちの野球を貫き通せれば最高の1年になるんじゃないかなと思ってます。
The goal was to get to this far, and I also pictured myself getting this far with the contract that I've signed. And again, just being able to play in this kind of stage with the team effort, and all the games were really hard, but I'm just glad that we're at this stage right now.
Go to the far right, third row.
おめでとうございます。本当にずっと夢見てきたワールドシリーズだと思うんですけど、そもそも出たい、誰でも目指すべき場所であると思うんですけど、大谷選手にとってはワールドシリーズなんで目指してきたのか。その辺の理由とかっていうのは
逆に目指さない理由がないというか、このリーグでやってれば誰でもそこを目指してますし、そうなるように1年間頑張ってきてると思うので、全員がこのリーグでプレーしている全員がそう思ってるんじゃないかなと思います。
Go to the middle and the fourth row.
大谷選手、今日のシャンパンの味も格別だったんじゃないかと思うんですけども、3度目のシャンパンどんな味がしましたかっていうのと、あと葉巻は試されましたか？
葉巻は試してないですね。みんなで楽しくこうやってシャンパンファイトができて何よりですし、本当にさっきも言いましたけど、いよいよ最後のステージに来たなというそういう実感が今しているところかなと思います。
あともう一つ、トロフィーを先ほど使っていらっしゃいましたけど、どんな重みを感じましたでしょうか？
初めてのトロフィーなので持っていいよみたいな感じで、いい記念になったので、ワールドシリーズのチャンピオンのトロフィーも掲げられれば最高だなと思います。
Go to the second row right here in the front.
Say Shohei. So at one point, I think you were 0 for 22 with no runners on base. Just wondering if there was anything you changed in your approach, or if anything, you talked to Doc a little bit about maybe moving down in the order, if there was any change, or did you just keep swinging away?
走者なしで22打数0安打っていうになってましたけども、何か特別に変えたこととか、何か打順を変えようとか、何か監督と話したりとかしましたか？
特別に変えたことはないですね。もうやることはずっと言ってる通り変わらないので、自分のアプローチをしっかりとすれば、どんな状況でも、多少その状況によって 変えるところはありますがアプローチ自体を変えるということはないので、スモールサンプルの中の偶然起きた数字じゃないかなと思っています。
There's nothing in particular that I changed. Obviously, when there's situations, I do change how I swing. But in terms of my approach, I've been, continuing with my approach the whole time. I do think it's part of it is just a small sample size.
Go to the fourth row on the left side.
Shohei, obviously the MVPs on this team are going to make all the headlines, but you have people that don't make the headlines like Tommy Edman winning the MVP for the NLCS. Can you describe what it's like to be surrounded on a team where it feels like anybody can step up in a big moment like that?
トミー・エドマンがMVP 受賞したように本当に誰でもこの打線の中で誰でもチームの中で本当に誰でも MVP になるような可能性っていうのは秘めてると思うんですけども、どう思いますか？
トミーは間違いなく MVP だと思ってますし、このシリーズだけじゃなくてシーズンの途中から来ましたけど本当に大きい仕事を数字に残らないところも含めて、本当に素晴らしい選手だなと思ってますし、誰かが調子悪い時に誰かがカバーするっていうそういう試合が多かったと思うので、そういう意味では本当に素晴らしい試合が多かったなと思ってます。
Tommy, I think clearly is the MVP. He does things not just this postseason, but during the regular season, contributing in places where it doesn't really reflect on the stat line. But I think the common theme for this season has been that a lot of people, different guys, has been stepping up over the course of the season.
Go to the third row on the right.
パドレスにはダルビッシュさん、松井さんがいて、メッツには千賀さんがいました。こういう最高峰の舞台で日本人対決が何度も起きるっていうのは日本の野球の高さを表していると思うんですけど、その点についてはいかが感じてますか？
日本出身の選手だけじゃなくて本当にラテン系の選手も数多く活躍してますし、そういういろんな国の出身の選手たちのプレーというのは自分自身にとっても参考になる部分は多くあるので、本当にレベルの高いところで日々学んでいる感じかなと思います。
We'll take two more in the third row on the left side here.
すみません、今日初回やっぱ先制されて嫌な空気の中で大谷選手が先頭で出て逆転につながったと思うんですけど、あそこの打席っていうのはマナイア選手投手に対してどういうアプローチでいって前回抑えられた投手に対して結果を出しにいったのかっていうところ。
嫌な流れではありましたけど前回も抑えられていますし素晴らしい投手ではあるので、なかなか自分の思い通りにいくような打席は少ない、チャンス自体が少ないんじゃないかなとは思ってましたけど、先頭打者としてしっかりとチームの流れを戻せるような仕事はしたいなとは思っていたので、結果的に抜けてくれていい打席になったなと思ってます。
あとこの一番大事な試合で登場曲変えられたっていうのは気分転換なのか、その経緯教えていただければ。
特にはないですね。フィーリングがいいっていうことで選ばせてもらいました。
We'll take one last one in the middle, third row.
おめでとうございます。日本人にとっては松井秀喜さんのワールドシリーズが強烈な印象に残っていると思うんですけど、大谷選手おそらく中学生だったと思うんですけど、その時の記憶って残ってますか？
試合を生で見てはいないですね。もちろんその MVP を取られたっていうのはもちろん知ってますしハイライトみたいなのを何回も見たってことはありますけど、生では見てはなかったですかね。
そのヤンキースとやるっていうのはまた違ったものってありますか？注目されてると思うんですけど。
もちろん素晴らしいチームですし強いチームなので、自分たちの野球をしっかりとまずは今日は今日で喜んでいいと思うのでまた切り替えてアウェーもアウェーで盛り上がると思いますし、楽しみにしたいなと思ってます。
Hey, Tommy, you tied Corey Seager's record for NLCS RBIs by a Dodger. Did they tell you when they traded for you that this was your role on the team, being the MVP of the NLCS?
No, they did not inform me of that. Nor did they inform me I was going to be hitting cleanup. So, but yeah, no, it's pretty crazy, especially with the history of the organization, to have tied that record. I had no idea about it until I guess after the game. But it's a huge part of that is just a testament to the guys on the team. We had really good at bats throughout the series. Our whole lineup was really good. We had any number of guys who could have won MVP, but I just kept getting up with guys on base and had a lot of opportunities to drive runs in.
Go to the fifth row on the left side.
Tommy, like when the postseason started, there was, majority of the role was, moving you around the field wherever you were needed. And you flash forward to today, now you mentioned you're batting fourth in cleanup. How do you maintain the poise to be able to stay on the course and make sure that you're able to deliver when those opportunities are arising for you and not just falter when, when you get moved up to cleanup and stuff like that?
Yeah, I didn't really think too much about the spot in the lineup I was hitting, just, more just situational. If there's guys on base, just try to put something in play and have a chance to drive guys in. So I don't know if the spot in the lineup necessarily means that much to me. But yeah, kind of like you were saying, I didn't really know what my role was when I got traded here, and then postseason moving around a little bit. And I feel like I've kind of just done a good job of adjusting to whatever is required of me in any given situation.
The second row on the right.
So, Tommy, quick question for you. When you come over to a team like the Dodgers in the middle of the season, there's just so much upheaval for you personally. How do you get comfortable with the team, with the move to the West Coast? How did the team make you feel comfortable? How did that all work out to end up where you are tonight?
Well, the move to the West Coast is actually a move home because I'm from San Diego, so that was definitely made things a little bit easier for my wife and son to be closer to their family. And the other part too is just organization did such a great job of welcoming me and making sure I kind of had everything I needed because I was injured when I got traded, so just making sure I was going through all the rehab stuff that I needed to, and really just being really diligent about the work that I needed to put in order to get ready to play every day again. So yeah, huge credit goes to the staff and then my teammates as well for welcoming me and making me feel like part of the team from day one.
A few more for Tommy. Anyone else? We'll go to the back right.
Tommy, when we were in New York, especially after Game 4, you kept saying, I've never been to the World Series. We're one win away. This would be really cool. Now that you are in the World Series, and it's, for any baseball fan against the Yankees, a dream matchup, just what are you feeling and your thoughts on the whole matchup going into the Yankee series?
Yeah, it's what you always dream about as a little kid, getting to play in the World Series and playing for the Dodgers against the Yankees. It's pretty surreal, and yeah, I'm just excited to get to play those big games. We're enjoying this series win tonight. Over this next week or so, we're gonna start preparing against the Yankees. But yeah, it's just dream come true for sure.